It's me, Toad, and today we're gonna be reading the entire. What the frick? Anyway, we're gonna be reading the entire Declaration of Independence. It's right here. Yes, it's right here, guys. All of it's right here, and we're about to start reading. So here we go. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous Declaration of the United States of America. When in course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of earth the separation and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should be declared the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that are known by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is right for the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organization its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments established should not be changed for right and transient causes, and accordingly all experience have shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But then, when a long train of abuses and uprisings pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute deprivation, it is the duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter the forms of their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and uprisings, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute triumvirate over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candidate world. The king has refused to set his laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has forbidden governments to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended into the operation till his assent should be obtained. And when those suspended, he is utterly neglected to attend them. He has refused to pass other laws for the combination of large districts of people, unless those people will replenish their right and representation in the legislature, a right established to them and formable to trines only. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the disparity of their public records for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved reverend houses repeatedly for opposing with mental firmness his invasions on the rights of people. He has refused for a long time after such solutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers incapable of elimination have returned to the people and watched for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and conclusions within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws of naturalization for foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage the migration hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators. He has affected to render the military independence of and superior to our civil power. He has combined with others to subject us at the jurisdiction fortune to our Constitution and acknowledged by our laws, given his consent to their acts of pretended registration for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by a mock trial, for punishment for any murders which should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of our benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to try to be pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in the neighboring province, establishing therein in an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government, for suspending our own registrators and declaring themselves invested with power to registrate us in all cases whatsoever. He has advocated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, razed our coasts, burned our towns, and destroyed the lives of people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign emergencies to complete the works of desolation and tragedy, already becoming with serpent scandals of cruelty and perfidy, scattered around in the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy the head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive at the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become executors of their friends and brethren, and to fold themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrections among us, and has endured to bring out the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages, whose rule of warfare is an indistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every state of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in our most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by retreated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a trine is unfit to be a ruler of the people. Nor we have been waiting our attention with the British behead. We have warned them from time to time to attempt by the legislature to extend an unwarrantable justification over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and man captivity, and we have conjured by the ties of our common conduct to disallow these uprisings, which would inevitably interrupt their connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of our constitutionally, we must therefore acquiesce in the necessary which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war and peace friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of our world, which would reproduce our intentions, due in the name and the authority of the good people of the colonies, sovereign passion declare that these United Colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved of all allegiance to the British Crown and to all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain, is and ought to be totally dissolved. That is free and independent states, they have full power to war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with the firm of our alliance on the protection of divine prophets, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. All right, I know I messed up a lot of words there, and I know it's a lot of words. There's a lot of words that I messed up. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and see you guys later. Bye!